Right, man. Well, you've spoken on stage, right? You've spoken to like thousands of people, like inspired people, like including myself. I remember seeing you on stage in front of a couple of thousand people, and I'm just going, this guy, man, is like, seriously.
You're too kind, man. I appreciate that.
Like,
I appreciate that.
You seem like a natural communicator, and like, how did you build up that confidence to where you're okay with like rapping in the 80s like rap song on stage? White chocolate.
Oh man. I mean, it's just practice. A lot of it's practice. You know, I don't know if you know this about my story, but so two things, like, and I think this is a really valuable lesson. One of the biggest personal development lessons that I've ever learned, and it comes from Napoleon Hill. And, you know, he talks a lot about how in every apparent setback lies the seed of an equal or greater advantage. You've heard that before?
Yeah.
So like, you know, whenever something bad happens, like, you know, company takes away your commission, you know, that's like, you know, it's like something bad, but it's a setback. And Napoleon Hill says that in every setback lies the seed of something greater. And over my business career, I've really tried to watch that and pay attention to it. And inevitably, every time something I thought was bad happened, it always, I've got lots of stories. Like I could tell you story after story after story, but it always turned out to be leading to something better. There was always something better there. So how does that relate to the question that you asked me? When I was a kid, my dad left my family when I was 8 years old. Just took off. He was an alcoholic and he had some issues. And so he left my mom and my sister and I just by ourselves. We were living in a trailer. My mom was hearing impaired. When she was a kid, she had scarlet fever, and she lost her hearing. So she couldn't hear. She couldn't talk on the phone. She had no job. And my dad left my family. And so when I was 8 years old, I had to start talking on the phone to relay messages, you know, from the bill collectors to my mom and from grandpa and grandma to my mom. So that was a setback that at an early age started to get me in the habit of taking responsibility and also practicing communication. So that would be like, you know, one aspect of, you know, if I have any good communication skills, thank you for the compliment. But I think that would be one area. But then the other area is just practice, like ridiculous amounts of practice. You know, I mean, I've been hosting a conference call now every day, Monday through Friday, for an hour for over 6 years. Every day, Monday through Friday. That doesn't include all the videos that I've done, you know, my YouTube channel, you know, hundreds and hundreds of videos, right? Practicing communication. So all of that, I mean, you just can't help but get better, you know, like if you're communicating every day, if you're making videos every day, if you're doing audios every day, if you're talking to people every day, you're going to get better over time and you're going to develop some skills.
Cool, man. Yeah, well, like this video, just us doing this alone, like you remember 2 years ago, you were trying to get me to come out onto like a hangout and I'm going, no.
Yep.
There was no way. I was just so shy and reserved. There'd be no way. I'd be like, I couldn't even think of being able to do an interview like this. But yeah, no, you're right. It's just a constant do things every day, day in, day out. And like that Think and Grow Rich call, it's like got like a cult following. Like,
yeah,
and
it does.
That call alone has probably generated you like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And like I hear it all the time, like, oh yeah, I found Paul Hutchings through his Think and Grow Rich call, and it's like, okay, success is leaving clues here. So you've got to do something that's sort of going to be like form some kind of a following. What would you suggest someone go out there and do to be able to create that like cult following? I'm like, don't go out and do your own Think and Grow Rich call, but like, what would be your advice for someone that wants to go and create a following and build something like what you've got? Like, if you don't even have to do it yourself. I know when you go on like go away, other people just put up their hand and say, yeah, I'll host your call. And like, so you've got that sort of dialed in. What would you suggest people do to sort of start something?
That's a great question. I think the number one thing is find something that you're really passionate about. Like John Maxwell said, it can be lonely at the top, so you better remember why you're there. So like, if you start, let's say you start a podcast or a conference call or a Facebook Live or whatever, excuse me, and your only goal is to make a few bucks, like, I don't know if that's the staying power that you're going to need to like really rally the troops for an extended period of time. And so I just, maybe if I tell a little bit of the story of the genesis of the Think and Grow Rich call, it might give some insights into like, what you can do, what people can do. So I never started that mastermind to make money from it. Like basically what had happened was I'd struggled for so many years. And then I said a prayer in a trailer house and I was like, God, please help me. This isn't working. I need help. And I got this inspiration that was like, you need to study the book, Think and Grow Rich. You need to understand it. You need to apply it. You need to put this stuff into, effect into your life. So I started studying the book and I started applying what the book was teaching me. And I had such a massive shift that combined with internet marketing, those were the two things that took me from 5 years of failure, 14 companies, to now I'm making $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month. And before the money came, I had a shift in my mind where like I went from hoping that it was going to work, praying that it was going to work, crossing my fingers, please let this work. Like I went from that to I knew it was working. Like I knew, even though the money wasn't there, I knew that the money was on its way. I knew it was in someone else's bank account. I knew all I had to do was serve the people that I needed to serve, and that money was going to be there for me. So everything in my business changed. The way I spoke, the way I showed up, everything changed. And it was all due to the information that was taught to me in that book. And so I was like, wow, I want to keep studying this information. And then I also want to help my team. And so we started this mastermind, right? And so it was born out of wanting to inspire people with something that really helped my life, wanting to give back something that was given to me in a major, major way. So I think that whatever that is for you, Alex, or anyone out there who's watching, I mean, it might not be the Think and Grow Rich book, it might be something else, but I think there has to be like that passion for it. And then as it's developed, it's turned into, I don't want to I'm not going to get religious or anything, but I am a man who does believe that there is a bigger purpose to life than making money. Money's part of it. We got to have money to be free. But I also believe in The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale quotes Grove Patterson, where he says, we came from someplace, we're going someplace. The architect of the universe didn't build a stairwell leading to nowhere. And so for me and my belief system, I believe that this life is part of something bigger that, probably none of us really understand, but I think it's part of something bigger. And part of my mission with the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind, and again, I think this can apply to anything that you do, but my mission is to find, understand, and apply great truths, laws, principles of life, apply them in my life, and then help others, apply them in their lives as well. And because there's that element in it, it's like something that I can be really passionate about probably until the day that I die, right? And so I think if you're going to create something where you're going to, endeavor to get followers, I don't really think that I'm trying to get followers, right? Can you see there's a difference? It's like a mission. It's like a crusade. It's like, hey, let's rally the people to free 100 families a year through principle-centered leadership. It fires me up and I want to do it forever. So I guess what are those things in your life that cause those feelings? What are those things in your life that you can see yourself just being a crusader for until the day you die, Because those are the things, that's what's really going to get people fired up. That's really what's going to get people rallied around and wanting to stick around. And then, the other thing, a few other things is culture starts to, emerge. And what's culture? Well, culture is simply things that groups do together and things that groups believe together. And the things they do together and the things they believe together tend to unify them together. right? So like, I didn't really understand this stuff when I first started, but what I started to realize was that as we were studying, well, first of all, like we'd get on the mastermind every day and we all go through our definite major purpose and our self-confidence formula, right? Which Napoleon Hill says to do, by X day, I will have in my possession X amount of income, which will, that whole thing. And like, that was a key part of my shift. So we were doing it every day. And then after a while, I was like, wow, like we're all doing this together. This is like part of culture, like people that go to church and then they all pray together. And it's like, well, we're just saying the definite purpose together instead of the prayer, So like that was one thing. And you can think about that, like whatever you're going to do, what can be a culture that can keep, it's because culture's like the glue that keeps people together, and it's also the glue that can keep the group together when the leader is absent, and that's the other thing is like, so anyway, culture, it keeps people together. And so you got things you do together. So what are the things that you can do with the people that you're connecting with in whatever medium you're connecting with, give some thought to that. And then the beliefs, like what are the combined beliefs of the group? So here's what happened with the Think and Grow Rich stuff is like, I realized, cause like some companies, when you understand culture, I guess, like, and you're forming a company, you're like, okay, what's our culture going to be? Like, what can we have everyone believe that we can all believe together? Should it be, let's stand on our head against the wall every day for 5 minutes and let's just all do that together and that'll be part of our culture. That's kind of an extreme example, but some companies actually kind of do stuff like that. It's like, whether it's going to help people or not, let's just set this as our culture because we know culture keeps people together. Well, like going back to my thought of like, we came from someplace, we're going someplace, and like my mission to like find, understand, and apply truths of life and principles of life. Well, Napoleon Hill's philosophy, I noticed that like, it's like a belief system. You know what I mean? Like we believe in the Think and Grow Rich community that we should have a definite major purpose as part of our life. Like we should have a purpose. We should have a purpose in our income generation. And like, I mean, that just makes sense. Like who can't get behind that, right? And then like law of success number 2, self-confidence. So we believe in learning how to believe in ourselves. We believe in believing in other people, right? Where does that come? Napoleon Hill philosophy. The law of savings, principle number 3. Like so in our community, we believe that we shouldn't just blow money like crazy, right? If we're going to make it, we want to save it so we can invest it and create more freedom. So that's part of a belief. So I noticed that like there was this just entire belief structure that was written all throughout the philosophy that to me resonated with what I think is like some of the great truths of life. So it's like, why not just rally everyone around things that we actually believe are true, and that are useful. So I don't know if that helps, but like, those are some of the thoughts that have gone through my brain in thinking about, what we do there in that community. And it's a great thing. I mean, like when you do the best that you can to serve people and rally them together for a great cause or a great purpose, and you're consistent over time with it, the money, yeah, you'll make money, but like you'll start to get messages from people. Like I remember you sent me a message, Alex, and I don't think this was directly related to the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind, but you sent me messages talking about, how it made an impact in your life, and you start to get all these messages from different people thanking you and, tears and like, man, I needed that mastermind. I needed it. I needed people to be plugged into. I needed that thing that you created, Alex, and you created it. And thank you for that. And I call that soul pay, right? Because we get like pay in our pay envelope. But like Napoleon Hill says, if money is the only thing in your pay, if the money is the only thing you receive in your paycheck at the end of the week, you have been grossly underpaid. And it's because there's all these other great paybacks we can get, when we decide to just do the best that we can to help people. And that's really what it's all about. Like, what can you do to help people? What can you do to serve people? What can you create that can really be a blessing to people? Those are better questions than like, what can I create to get people to follow me? You know what I mean? I think we all intuitively know this, but yeah, anyway, so I don't know if that was helpful.
Man, that was super helpful. And like, that's actually helped me change a few ideas that I had in my mind. It's like, yeah, you got to go to serve people instead of just get a following. No, that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Now, I mean, like, I did have a whole lot more questions, but I know time's sort of running out. You got to go and pick up your kids. So got one final question, or it's not really a question. It's like, you're a man of many quotes. Okay, just about every video, every webinar, everything you've ever done, you've dropped probably 6 or 7 quotes in this interview alone. Do you have an all-time favorite quote that people can run with right now? And yeah, what's your number one quote?
Oh man, that's like what is a good metaphor? That's like it's like, oh, that's like asking someone who's like grossly overweight to tell you their favorite food. No, I just kidding.
Well, speaking about that, I read an article yesterday. Now they have donut fries.
Donut fries. Okay, I do have one of my favorites. It comes from Napoleon Hill, and he says, cherish your dreams and your visions as they are the children of your soul, the blueprints of your ultimate achievements. I really like that one.
I actually thought you were going to say that one because I've heard.
Oh, really?
That's awesome.
Isn't that a good one, though? Like the thought that our dreams are children of our souls, like that just is like, wow, you know? So
yeah.
I love you, man. Thanks for having me on today. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming on, guys. And seriously, like, connect with Paul Hutchings. Like, there's a link underneath this video here to connect with him. Well, you want to put like a Facebook link to connect with you on Facebook, or how would you like people to connect with you, Paul?
Yeah, you can just go to Facebook and search Paul Hutchings and add me as a friend. Send me a message if you add me as a friend, because I don't accept everyone. So yeah, just let me know.
Because he has an inundation of people.
You saw me with the thunder from down under. Have you told your friends that story? The thunder from down under, and then you actually signed someone up?
We didn't end up signing up, but it was just hilarious.
Oh, okay.
This guy messaged me from Vegas going, what do you do? And I was having a chat, and then it's like, what do you do? And he goes, I'm a dancer in the thunder from down under in Vegas. I'm going, no way. No, that's cool. That's funny. Thank you very much, Paul. You've inspired me. I hope you've been able to inspire a whole lot of people watching this here. And yeah, thank you very much. So, cheers.
Thank you, Alex. Thanks for watching, everyone. Always go for your dreams.
Hey, I hope you really enjoyed this interview with Paul Hutchings. Amazing guy. As you can see, he just gives so much value. Every time he opens his mouth and talks to anyone, he's always giving amazing value. He always just wants to help and inspire people. And I hope you got that out of this interview. Now, just leave a comment on what you thought was what you actually got out of this interview series, because I'd really, really like to know. Now, and also make sure you connect with Paul. There's that link below to connect with him on Facebook. Now, also, if you want to know what it is that I'm doing, just also there's a link below this video to connect with me. Hit me up on Facebook, and we'll have a chat to see if you'd be a good fit to work with me. So, cheers. Be on the lookout for more interviews. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of interviews with some amazing people. So pay close attention to this blog and to my Facebook wall, because I'm going to be pushing them all out there too. So, hey, you're awesome. Thanks for watching this video series, and I'll see you on the next interview.